Have you been having slow sales on eBay or just want to increase the amount of items that you sell every single day? I'm going to give you 5 really easy things that you can do that are going to help you make way more money. The first thing everyone needs to be doing is to take a look at your listed inventory. This is all of your active items. So if you've recently had a ton of sales but feel like, that maybe the past couple weeks it's really slowed down, maybe it's because you aren't listing enough really high quality inventory and you're just left with your kind of mediocre items that are listed. Some things that I like to do with my older inventory is to run sales. 5, 10, 15, I've gone all the way up to 30% off just to get things gone and to make money and just to get that profit circle continuously going is really beneficial. And just having more space, personally, as someone who only does this out of one room and 5 or 6 shelves, it is very beneficial. Getting things gone is one of the best things I think you can do to not become a hoarder of a reseller. All right, and speaking on being a hoarder, our second topic is to stop going to the thrift store and list your mountains of unlisted inventory. This is something that I am really guilty for. It got to the point a couple months ago where I had 2 shelves full of inventory, full of boxes, and then an additional 3 to 5 boxes just full of inventory that was not listed, but I was still going to thrift stores and garage sales and flea markets as much as I possibly could, just spending money and just not listing, or I'd only list the stuff that was easy to list or, was very high profit, right? So I feel like a lot of people, especially eBay resellers, really fail at the listing portion of the job. And it's boring. I personally like to have a show or a YouTube video or some music or a podcast going while I do it, and that helps me out. But at the end of the day, this is a business and this is a job. And if you don't have employees, you're gonna have to do the stuff you don't wanna do to make money. So make more money, list your unlisted inventory, and that's usually a lot of good stuff. There's usually a reason you bought it, instead of struggling at thrift stores or garage sales that have eBay printouts, right? List the stuff you do have and make that money. Okay, and the third tip for this video is going to be getting more eyes on your listing. The first thing I suggest you do is to promote all of your items at least 2 to 3%. And I know a lot of people complain about the fees and whatever, but if you're getting good quality, high selling inventory, being able to promote it is going to just allow you to get more money in, more inventory, and continue that cycle of you making money. The second part to this tip is getting more eyes on your listings by having them listed elsewhere. Things like Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, Poshmark. Sure, maybe you're not getting as many sales as you get on eBay, but the more places that you can list your items, the more chance you're gonna get a sale, which is the best possible thing for your business. Into our fourth and maybe the most important part of this whole thing is to streamline your business and making it as efficient as possible. All right, and the fourth and probably the most important thing you can do is to streamline your eBay business, making it as quick and efficient as possible so that you have more time throughout the day to either work on this eBay business or go on and live your life, which is what eBay allows you to do. Have that freedom to do things where you're not working that 9 to 5, right? And you might be saying, okay, so what are some examples of things that are actually gonna help me? What I recently did was skewing all of my inventory. Beforehand, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are gonna relate to this, is I just had to try and remember where something I sold was. Is it on this shelf? Is it on this shelf? Is it in this box? And sometimes I would completely forget, especially if it was an older item that sold. So I'd have to either go ask my girlfriend to try and help find it for me or spend 15 minutes looking for this stupid thing, right? So now that I have everything skewed, it has made things billions of times easier and allows me to really speed up my shipping process, which is something I think a lot of people need to do. Getting your shipping in order is one of the most important things you can do as an eBay seller. Make sure you have consistent bubble wrap. Don't wait until you run out. Go and get more. Make sure you have packing paper and good boxes. If you're someone who gets free boxes, which is what I do, make sure you're having a consistent supply, because the last thing that you want to do is to run out of boxes in the middle of shipping, especially maybe after a long weekend of sales, trying to go and find boxes on a Monday. Sometimes it can be tough and it can lead to you scrambling across your town or looking for boxes or using one that's maybe not that good. And it's just a complete just waste of time. That is what you guys need to stop doing, wasting your time. Make things efficient, make things right, and that's what a real business would do. If you guys completed the first 4 steps of this video, you're probably gonna say to yourself, okay, now it's time to go back outsourcing. And yes, it is, but I'm really going to push you guys to make connections and to build more avenues of sourcing. You don't want to have to just rely on your thrift stores, garage sales, and flea markets. Especially recently, I don't know about you guys, but my thrift stores have been getting extremely expensive, even 1-to-1 or more expensive than eBay on some items. And it's completely ridiculous, yes, but it's the reality and we cannot change it. What we can change is the ways and places that we're getting this inventory. Wasting an hour or two in a thrift store and coming out with 2 or 3 items really isn't worth it. Build connections on Facebook Marketplace or through face-to-face garage sales. Get your name out there. You know, word to mouth is honestly shockingly surprising. And trust me, I hate talking to people, you know? Yes, I'm talking to a camera right now, but I've always hated to talking people, especially telling them I'm a reseller, right? Because so many people dislike that, or so they say, right? Put yourself out there, be a human, be nice, and you're gonna have a lot more inventory that is good and consistent. Consistently good inventory, I think, is one of the most important parts of being an eBay seller. All right, and if you made it to the end of this video, I've only posted 3 videos so far, but I'm gonna be very consistently posting all about eBay, reselling, all that good stuff. So if you wanna get better, learn more, stick around, subscribe, like for more. Peace out.